Hi everyone, I'm Dinah Haley and I am back with Uta Hagen's A Challenge for the Actor. Today we're working on Chapter 11, the first exercise, Physical Destination. So this is where Uta Hagen wants us to start to actually exercise all of the knowledge that we know. Chapter 11, the Physical Destination, is kind of a continuation of Chapter 8's animation chapter, where we discussed moving our bodies and having a purpose for every single reason why we're moving our bodies, whether it's to get up in a scene, to sit down, to move across the room, to stand still, any of that, it all has to have a purpose. So in this one, she's talking about a very, very critical aspect of the acting world, or our stage, or our scenes, because they are very important, and especially in an audition room, and I'll explain in a minute. So the whole continuation is the grand entrance and the grand exit. So a lot of the times actors will kind of wait behind the scenes, or they'll wait, by the wing or something like that, and they'll wait for their cue to come out, and they're just listening, waiting for their cue, and that's it. And then they come out and they just, all of a sudden, they kind of spurt out whatever words, or, oh yes, that's my love. Say hi, Zero. She's not going to say hi. Okay, so they'll come out and they'll just like say what they were supposed to say, or just do whatever they were supposed to do, kind of without any forethought attached to it. And a lot of critics can see that. And the same thing happens when you exit the stage or when you exit the scene. A lot of people will just, what's called, drop the life, and they'll just stop doing what they're supposed to do, what they're supposed to be doing, and just kind of exit. And there's no life thought beforehand, and there's no life that's been thought about for the aftermath of it. So she talks about a couple of things that prevent us from doing those things. For one thing, she talks about nerves, and nerves always happens like right before you enter the scene or the stage. And she talks about it being seen as a very negative term. And nerves, they always kind of exhilarate me a little bit, but they keep me alert. They keep me ready to go. I'm on my toes, and I'm kind of ready for anything that needs to happen, or that is going to happen, whether it be a technical difficulty, or, somebody kind of misplaces their line or something like that. You have to be ready for those kinds of things, because you never know, something could happen, something miraculous could happen, where you have this incredible idea, while they're in the middle of rolling the camera, and the time that they spent on the camera rolling is money. And so if you can do something amazing, or do something kind of out of the blue, or you have an idea because you were nervous and you were on your toes, but you're still focused and you're still keeping the goal of the character's life in mind, something incredible can happen. Kind of like that scene where Harrison Ford is playing Indiana Jones, and I forget which movie this is, but he came into work and he was really, really sick. Like, he had pneumonia, like the whole nine, the fever, everything like that. And in the scene, he was sweating really badly, and that was real sweat. And he tells the director, he's like, I can't do the fight scene today because they had a whole choreographed thing going on. And he was nervous about the fight scene, and he didn't really know how he was going to be able to do it. And so he kind of just decided, I have an idea. And then he comes out and he just pulls out his gun and he shoots the guy, and then the guy, falls over. He just kind of follows whatever he, is doing, right? And I'm sure he was nervous too, like he's nervous to do this fight scene. And then they all just kind of played with each other in that way. And then they kept the scene for the movie, and it's one of the most memorable moments because everyone was expecting a fight scene, but it didn't actually happen. So nerves, they're a good thing, everybody. They are a good thing to have. It keeps you alert. It keeps you on your toes. All you have to do is keep the goal of the character in mind and be ready for anything to go wrong. Improv is a good thing. So when you're entering the stage or the scene. Being nervous is okay. You just got to keep it on a positive note, and remember that before you enter, that there is a life happening before. There's things happening to the character moments before, because there's a reason why you enter this stage. There's a reason why you're entering the scene. Figure out what that reason is and walk in, or run in, or crawl in, or crab walk it in, whatever it is, with that purpose in mind and with a goal ahead that you need to meet. Okay, so and then there's the grand exit. So the life of the play does not end when the character exits. The character is expecting life to happen after the play. His life doesn't just end there. There's something that goes on after. And so you kind of have to make that decision in your head, before leaving the stage, or obviously rehearsing it, and deciding, what is this character going to do? Her heart was just broken. Is she going to go back to her old job after this? Is she going to move back in with her parents after this? There's a bunch of, different scenarios and things like that, but you have to have that ready to go. You have to, because then the audience can see the decision being made in your head, about what you are going to do next. So you're not just going to exit the play because the play is over. The biggest thing that, tips off critics is that when people start clapping at the end, unless they've seen the play a million times, I suppose, but when they start clapping because the actor has given some kind of a note, some kind of a promissory note that the play is over, sometimes they do that in films and things like that, where it'll like kind of close up to the actor's face, or something like that, but you can see it in the character's face that a decision has been made, and we call that a cliffhanger. In all the Marvel movies, something happens at the end where we're like, oh my god, I have to see the next one because a decision has been made. We're not sure what it is, but we know it's been made, and we know that if we want to know about the decision, we have to see the next movie. It's good acting. Let's see, rehearsal is a must. Thinking about it isn't enough. She says that like 5 times in this chapter. You can't just sit in your bed and think about, oh, what should my decision be? No. You have to rehearse it, because if you can't believe it yourself in the moment, if you can't imagine yourself in that moment, creating that life beforehand and afterward of the play or the scene that you're in, then it's not going to come off to other people either. So rehearsing it and actually getting up and doing it is a really, really good thing. I mean, we know to rehearse, but you have to rehearse your choices as well. You can't just like make a choice and then just go, okay, when I get there, I'll just wing it. No, you have to rehearse. And I'll give you an example about the audition thing. One of my more recent acting classes I took, she stressed the importance on exiting, especially in a comedic audition, to leave like doing something funny or crazy or whatever like that, something that's going to get them to go, oh my god, I wasn't expecting that, and it may make them laugh or something like that. Something that makes them laugh at the ending of a comedic scene is always a really good way to book that audition. Although I'm not sure what happened to me, but there was this audition. I recently just booked it. It was really exciting because I really love the role, where my line was like, where's your car? And instead of just standing there, because that was the last line, instead of just like standing there and like looking at the camera when I was done, or looking at the director when I was done, I go, where's your car? And I ran out the door. I ran out that audition door, and I was like, okay. And I ran back in, because I wanted to see, like, what their reaction was. Some people I heard just, like, ran out the door. They'll run out the door, or they'll do something funny or whatever like that. and then they'll kind of just leave. But I came back in because, I don't know. I just went back in because I was like, what if they want to talk to me? So I just ran back in. And they were laughing. It was supposed to be a drama, and but they were laughing, and I booked the part. So it was really cool. So the grand entrance I made, I was supposed to be this poised businesswoman, and so, I walked in as such, and I was like, hi, how you doing? Like all that other stuff that we do. And then, at the very end, I just run out the door with my line, and they absolutely loved it, and they said no one had done that yet, and I was just like, yes. So it can be like the little things that you do at the beginning of the scene and at the end of the scene that can be really important. Your grand entrance and your grand exit, they have to have a purpose, and they have to have a life beforehand and afterwards. So that is my lesson for the day. I'm hoping to upload the other chapters soon. I know I'm late again. I've been very, very busy lately. So I'm going to try to upload more videos throughout the week as I have time to do them. I've got another 2 chapters already ready to go that I can do pretty quickly here, so that you can continually following along. We're almost halfway done with the book.